Ow. What's up, everyone? Punchy back with Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 3, the Higurashi. Last time, God, I hate this. Every time I start a video, just, alright, get the intro, and then blank. So last time, Punchy decided he's just gonna go over there to Satoko's uncle's house and be like, hey, you're supposed to be dead, and hatchet, right? But he went and it was strange because, first off, one thing he'd hear was a water boiler, and the place looked terrible. Like, no one was cleaning, even though Satoko's been saying that she's been like having to clean for her uncle. It looked utterly disastrous. He just saw Satoko in the bathroom, I assume. That's where he was checked, and we need to see what happened to Satoko. Also, we're gonna try, I don't know how much longer it is, but we're gonna try and finish this today. We're just gonna burst it. All right, Satoko. No answer. Satoko was in the bathtub, surrounded by a thick layer of rising steam. The top half of her body was leaning over the edge of the tub, and she was passed out. The water boiler kept on making a whistling noise, as if angered. I could see the gas flame through the small window. It was roaring at full force, completely blue. Satoko's entire body was boiled red and flaccid, as though her bones had melted away. She was almost like a doll, as she laid there unconscious. I wasn't sure how many seconds passed as I stared in complete bafflement. I came back to my senses and promptly shut off the boiler. Then, I dragged Satoko's small body out of the bathtub. The water in it was as hot as the water in public baths, which you are not supposed to stay in for an extended period of time, if you guys happen to go. Was she in this boiling water for the entire night? She'll die. She'll die. Satoko's body was lighter than I expected as I laid her on the floor and wrapped her in a towel. I went back into the bathroom and opened up the vent, creating a path for a cool breeze to come through. Upon the breeze hitting her, Satoko moaned again. It'll be alright, Satoko. It's me, Punchy. Punchy! Can you hear me? Punchy... Satoko recognized me and muttered a response, but I couldn't really tell what she was saying. Her eyes were muddy and focused. I could tell she wasn't completely conscious. Upon closer inspection, her limbs and waist were twitching slightly. This was way worse than normal overheating. This was dangerous. Didn't they call this heat stroke? Think, what would the teacher do if her girl passed out in the middle of summer during a marathon in gym or something? I turned the water faucet in the kitchen all the way on and soaked a towel in it. I then took the cold towel and pressed it to Satoko's forehead. Satoko reacted harshly to the coldness and let out a muffled voice. For burns, right, you would soak the burned spot under running water. Then, could I run cold water in the shower and cool her off like that? No. If it was that sudden, it wouldn't be good for her heart, and she'd go into shock. I think I read that once before. This was about as much nursing as I could possibly give her. Anything more than this would be too much for the likes of an amateur. What happened, Satoko? You're alright now. Your Nini will save you for sure. 5,039. 540. What was Satoko reciting under her breath? I brought my ear to her mouth to better make out the mysterious spell-like words she kept saying. And at the moment, I understood what they were for. Satoko, you're counting? Why? People tell little kids in the bath to count to 100 a lot, right? Satoko was counting like that. But 5,039? You moron? How long were you supposed to count? in your own bathtub. 10,000. I doubted my ears and doubted her common sense. 10,000. You're a freaking idiot. What kind of dumbass can count to 10,000? There's no way you could do that. You'd bored to death before you got that far. Why were you... My uncle... Last night, her uncle flew into a rage at the dinner she made, saying it stunk and was inedible. She didn't understand what on earth he meant. It wasn't much different than what she usually made for him. Maybe he hated the smell of the pickled vegetables she'd bought in particular. Her uncle then decided the stink was originating from Satoko and shouted at her that she never ever took baths. And then he put Satoko in the boiling water and told her not to come out until she counted to... I'll kill you! I snapped and exploded. Raising the newspaper wrapped hatchet, I stampeded through the house. I searched for anything, traces, signs, smells, vibrations, heartbeats. With a war cry, I raced up the stairs with such force I could have stomped a hole through them. Then I found the futon in the room I thought to be her uncle's, and, well aware he wasn't sleeping in it, I bashed it with the hatchet. Did he run into the closet? I'll bust the entire closet down, door and all. And if he's not there, maybe there's a secret door. Any switches or levers in the wall here? I smashed into wall after wall with the hatchet, crushing them. That's impressive, Punchy. Jeez. Dust rose into the air, and broken pieces scattered about the floor. I smashed all the glass windows, too, for good measure. Whoa! After I destroyed everything beyond recognition in her uncle's room, my reason finally kicked in and suppressed my emotions. Anyway, her uncle wasn't in the house right now, so is it established or something? Like, she was told last night. Is she crazy? Did she think she saw him? I don't know. I have to leave killing him until later. Right now, I had to do something about Satoko. I went back to the changing room. Satoko was still lying limp on the floor. There was nothing more an amateur like me could do for her. I needed to take her to the clinic. Coach had treated me like a lunatic yesterday and tried to lock me up in a mental hospital. I never wanted to see his damn face again. But I still needed to go to the infirmary one more time. I needed to have a doctor look at Satoko. I thought about putting her in the dirty uniform lying in the laundry basket, but I had no experience dressing someone, so it would be pretty difficult. What, does she not have, like... I've seen her Punchy with, like, a normal shirt and shorts. Shouldn't be that hard. Shit, I didn't have time to be wasting here. I eventually gave up on clothing her and decided to carry her in her bath towel. The clinic was close to Satoko's house. It would be way faster to carry her there than to call 119 and get an ambulance. I threw the biggest towel I could find over her and prompted her to stand. Can you stand? I'll carry you over to the clinic. Thank you. Her words sounded clearer than before. She was starting to come back. I cried tears of relief, just knowing she'd improved even a little bit. Satoko turned over, so she was lying on her face, and then put up a weak struggle to get up on a knee. I smoothly swept her up and put her on my back. The towel I put on her seemed like it was about to fall off. The towel, it hurts. We'll be there soon. It won't be long, so stay strong. It didn't hurt one bit to carry Satoko. She was light. Too light. The lightness actually made me uneasy. Outside, it had gotten hotter, as though eager to attack Satoko. Fucking cicadas. Why did I have to choose this morning to get so hot out? I didn't have time to swear at them. The clinic was this way. Hoisting Satoko on my back, I broke into a trot. Oof, it's getting serious. So we've got Satoko. We don't know where the uncle is, but Satoko is, like, she's dying, essentially, because she got heat stroke. She's clearly been weak this entire time, so, I mean, she can't be doing well at all. Punchy's in a frantic state, so we'll see what happens. The hilly road to the clinic, with which I'd never had difficulties now, was now torturous. Big beads of sweat formed on my brow, and at some point, my breath had grown faint. The hatchet in my belt was heavy and made it hard to walk. Just toss it, dude! I considered leaving it, but I couldn't let it go, at least not while Satoko's uncle was still breathing. I mean, there's something you do while you're in the open, man. The signboard for the Irie clinic came into sight, but I quickly noticed something was odd, so I stopped. Several red revolving lights were flashing at the clinic. 3 police cars were parked in the parking lot with their lights on. There didn't need to be much else to inform me something had happened. I didn't want to see Coach, so I planned to leave Satoko in the clinic waiting room and give the receptionist a message. But with that police officer Oishi here, I couldn't go inside so carelessly. No, you can't. Not with Oishi around. Oh, the poor thing. What's going on? Why are there so many police cars? I gently put Satoko down in the shade of the thicket. I don't know. I'll go see what happened, so you stay here for a moment. Leaving a lady in a place like this, wearing nothing but a bath towel? Simply unforgivable. If you can still fire off those insults, you'll be fine. I'll be right back, I edited, getting to my feet. Cautious of my surroundings, I hid myself behind a car and got closer to the officers grouped at the clinic's entrance. I overheard an officer wearing a necktie, probably their leader, and a white-robed doctor having a discussion about something. The doctor didn't seem to be Coach. It was one of those who Coach told me to make the tea yesterday. So you were the first one to find it, since you were on morning duty. So then, what did it look like? He was sitting on the sofa in the head office. He looked like he was taking a nap. Coach, maybe? There was a jug and an empty bottle of sleep medication on his desk, so you immediately thought he had tried to commit suicide with it. No. What else? His high temperature incontinence indicated a severe disturbance of consciousness. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm getting like really low frames. I don't know if you can see it. It seemed like a typical case of sleeping pill poisoning, so I immediately began to treat him. Okay, yeah, it's going a little weird. I'm not sure why. All of a sudden I'm losing frames. Anyway. Without calling the police or an ambulance? Oh wait, I'm not sure if I read the part. This is a hospital, and I'm a doctor. Since his life was in danger, it's my job to treat him at once. Yes, I understand. Okay, what else? His breathing was in disarray, so I put him on a respirator. I also administered breathing stimulants. It had no effect, so I prepared a medical ventilator, and... Right. So, in other words, you did what you could, but it wasn't enough. That's it, right? You reported this as soon as he died? No, Coach did not know. Yes. It was very unfortunate that we were unable to save him. Just then, a radio in one of the police cars started to buzz, producing a broken, mechanical voice. This is HQ. Komiyama-san, can you hear me? Over. Hello. This is Komiyama. We've come up with something. It looks like he committed suicide with sleeping pills. God, like... If they're showing this to us, there's no way it can't be Coach. Coach committed suicide? Why? Just another question added. There's like nothing getting resolved right now. No notes or anything. Suicide? What the heck were they talking about? Someone had committed suicide at the clinic. But who? I wish Takano-san dead, and she died the next day. And yesterday, I wished Coach was dead. Then, could he have... Did he use sleeping medication regularly? I don't really know. Did he normally complain that he was tired or wanted to die? Well, Ari-sensei was normally so, well, himself. He never acted like that. So, I was right. Ari-sensei. They were talking about Coach. Coach killed himself. Why would he do that? There could have been any reason he wanted to die. The only reason that came to mind was that I wanted him dead. This world was insane. If I wanted someone dead, they'd die. That was the kind of world this was. Then what about Oishi? What happened to him? If people really died because I wanted them to, then something should have happened to him too. Okay, all the frames are back, thank God. I've sent you backup. The chief wants you to leave the rest to them and get back to searching for Oishi's car. Oh. Yes, sir. Please, excuse me then. It looks like we're getting relieved here, so please leave everything as it is right now. Alright, let's go. The officers nodded and split up into the patrol cars. Did they just say, searching for Oishi's car? Where could he possibly have gone? Searching for his car. That meant he had gone missing. Takano-san, Coach, and Oishi. When I wished for it, the very next day, they disappeared. No matter how angry you were when you said you wished someone was dead, it didn't normally happen. Everyone knew just wishing for it wouldn't make them dead, and that's why people could utter such curses so lightly. But the curses I uttered were being granted. At the time, I hadn't even been walking, and yet... Tap. I heard a footstep. It wasn't only one this time. Tap. Tap. They came from behind. I checked behind me myself. And they stood right behind me. Reaching a hand for my shoulder. Oh, no, not blocking my shoulders right now. I'm creeped out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Would you mind telling me what's going on? Oh! Satoko? Don't scare me like that. Oh, she looks like herself at least. I'm the scared one here. I'd prefer it if you didn't shout so suddenly. It was Satoko. Her eyes were still unstable, unfocused, but she seemed able to at least walk on her own now. She looked far better now compared to her earlier exhaustion state. How do you feel? Are you better? My head still hurts, but I can't stay outside looking like this forever. She gave me a smile, a show of courage, but her legs were still shaky. Anyway, what on earth is going on? From what I just heard the police talk about, Coach apparently committed suicide. Satoko was at a loss for words. Her face grew paler and paler, and I could tell she was doubting her own ears. Punchy-san, is that true? I didn't mishear you? That's what I heard. They said Ari-sensei killed himself with sleeping pills. Satoko went down on her knees and broke out in tears. It can't be. Coach, he would never ever kill himself. As I watched Satoko cry and clawing at the grass, I felt myself trapped by guilt and remorse. I got so angry that Coach was treating me like a madman yesterday, that he'd betrayed me, that I thought he'd be better off dead. But even Coach, who to me deserved to die, still must have had people who loved and respected him. Like Satoko here. In my selfish, egotistical anger, I wished for his death, and it was granted. And now Satoko was crying hysterically as a result. The guilt tore at my heart. I worked myself up to murder her for Satoko's sake. I decided I wanted Satoko to be happy. But was that really all it took? Murder meant taking someone's life. It meant making everyone attached to that person sad. In Satoko's uncle's case, of course, nobody would be sad. So I didn't feel a sense of guilt at all. But Coach's death was different. It's like, he was so concerned about killing someone else, and yet he so freely wished. I mean, yeah, he didn't think it was gonna happen, but it was just an interesting thought. I had wanted to make Satoko happy, and that had resulted in me inflicting a deep sadness upon her, hadn't it? But Coach killed himself. It wasn't my... Satoko still hadn't stopped crying, but she seemed to be a little calmer now. Wiping her tears, she stood up. I'm sorry. And the only thing I could think of to say to her was an apology. Why are you apologizing? Well, yesterday, I got into a fight with Coach, and I thought that I wanted him to die. I wanted it so he really... Satoko looked at me dubiously for a few moments. Eventually the expression softened, and she interpreted my words in her own way. It isn't your fault, Punchy-san. Coach was an adult, too. He felt like there was something he had to give his life for, and chose to do so after a lot of worrying and suffering. It's not anyone's fault. She smiled a little, trying to comfort me. I do not want to be naked forever. I want some clothes. Are you okay? Shouldn't you get someone at the clinic too? I won't die from putting on clothes before going. Satoko readjusted her bath towel and started back along the path. Her stride was wobbly, and didn't look like she'd recovered as much as she let on. At first, Satoko tried to go back home, but it was the time of the morning when people were going to school and to work, so just seeing people walking around, she thought better of it. She must have been pretty embarrassed wearing only the towel. I'm going to Rika's house. My clothes should be there. What's wrong? Punchy-san? Satoko noticed how I was hanging my head and spoke to me. Despite how he might have come off, Coach was an adult, alright? He would have certainly not have killed himself after a petty fight with you, Punchy-san. Please stop blaming yourself. At first, I thought it was coincidence, but with 3 people now, I couldn't discard the possibility. Well, Punchy really wishes death upon Satoko's uncle, yet there's evidence everywhere that, or evidence according to Satoko, that he hadn't died. So, I mean, not everyone, I guess. There was no such thing as impossible in this world. These past few days haven't made any sense. What hasn't? Satoko seemed to be having trouble breathing, but she still tried to listen to what I had to say. At the Higurashi festival, the day before last, you went home on the way there, right? And I went there and had a lot of fun. So it would seem. I do apologize for getting so upset with you about it. Satoko remembered how she blew up at me in the classroom yesterday and bowed to me a little. If I said I didn't actually go to the festival at all, would you believe me? Still, Satoko looked at me, confused. She couldn't help it, of course. Of course I wouldn't believe you. What are you on about? You wouldn't, right? I don't believe it either. I mean, I didn't go to the festival, but everyone's saying I hung out with them there. Nobody would believe it, right? Are you being serious? Yeah. Ever Ever since the night of the Watanagashi, everything's been messed up. These weird footsteps suddenly started following me everywhere. The blood drained from Satoko's expression. Footsteps following you? Yeah, I thought it was just my imagination at first, but they stayed with me. They're probably still there. I can't tell them apart now, because your footsteps though. Satoko took a long and hard look at me. Maybe she was doubting my sanity. Coach did the same thing. I mean, why wouldn't he, after telling him this? The more I thought about it, the more I wasn't able to endure the feeling that my hatred for Coach had been meaningless. On the day of the Watanagashi, I didn't go. I was doing something else the whole time. I wasn't sleeping or unconscious or anything, so it's not possible that I walked to the festival in my sleep and forgot about it afterwards. That is quite strange. Then how were you at the festival? That's what I mean. I didn't go to the festival. No, I can't let myself get emotional. If I get agitated now, that'd be like proving there's something wrong with my head. Sorry. Well, nobody believes me, so yeah. If that is what you say, Punchy-san, then I will believe you. Then what? That night, I saw Takano-san, and it felt like she was looking down on me. So I made a wish that she would die. Takano-san does have that sort of air about her, doesn't she? I cannot say that I don't understand how you feel. Did you know that Takano-san died? It happened yesterday. Apparently she was burned alive somewhere. Is that true? She died? I wished for her to die. And the next day, she was dead. And a wishy from the police, too. Do you know him? That annoying fat detective guy. Satoko nodded a little. I heard from the police earlier, but apparently he went missing. And yesterday, actually, I wished that he would die. Is this all true? I'm not lying. I don't want to believe it either, but it's true. Takano-san, Coach, and Oishi, I wanted them dead, and then they really died. For a little while, Satoko was at a loss. A long silence ensued. What a scary story. I should be sure not to get on your bad side, Punchy-san. And that's not all. There's something even stranger. It's about your uncle. I would rather you not talk about my uncle. He was there yesterday, right? At your house? Could we please stop talking about him? I don't want to. It's impossible. He couldn't have been there. I said, stop talking about him. No! Then I couldn't have been there after the night of Watanagashi. Because I... No more, please. No more about that man. I killed him. Oh, he did it. Oh my god. Confessing straight to Satoko. Wow. I mean, given the events that happened, I guess. Just another thing I didn't see coming. Along with Coach and Oishi dying. Alright, well, I'm trying to marathon through the rest of the day, like the actual day, with the game day, right? We're trying to finish this, so I'm going to stop it off right here, and I'm going to get some water, because I don't know if you guys can hear when my mouth, I don't want to make the mouth noises, because to me, they're really gross, but I try to cut them off. Sometimes I miss them. I try to turn away from the camera. From the microphone, so you guys don't hear it. So I'm going to get some water or tea, just a little bit of break, and I'm going to be right back at it and see how Satoko reacts. I have a hunch it's probably not good. We'll see if my hunch is right. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Ow.